What's happening in terms of the actions that are occurring in India to help with this. As part of that, I'm pleased to be able to announce that within the next 24 hours, the first shipment of Australian medical supplies will be going to India, and that includes, in particular, 1,056 ventilators and 42 oxygen compressors, so 1,056 ventilators and 42 oxygen compressors. This is the first shipment. It's not the last, and we're getting great support from around the states and from the general community on that front. With regards to testing, we've just passed 17 million tests and 53,000 in the last 24 hours. But in New South Wales, obviously, if you are in one of the affected areas, as outlined by the Chief Health Officer there, we would encourage you to come forward for testing. In relation to vaccinations, Lucas will give more detail, but we've now reached almost 2.4 million vaccinations nationally, 2,396,000, 314,000 vaccinations, including over 79,000 vaccinations in the last 24 hours, and that is 858,000 at state level and 1.5 million at Commonwealth level, 1.538 million to be more precise, and that is overwhelmingly led by our GPs. So I'm delighted that we're able to support our GPs today with a tripling of doses to the lower volume general practices. That will give them more capacity as we move into the over 50s phase. We've seen, obviously, Maddie, who was vaccinated today in the over 50s phase, and around the country, people are coming forward to be vaccinated. We'll continue to urge them to be vaccinated. This supports our GPs with a tripling for the lower dose, a doubling for those who have medium volumes, and it will ensure that we have supplies around the country as we see more and more over 50s coming in. Lucas?
Thank you, Minister. Grazie, Tony and Dominic, for having us here today. So, as the Minister has indicated, out of the doses administered in Australia, nearly just over 1.5 million, 1,538,000 doses have been administered by the Commonwealth vaccination program, including 243,000 doses in age and disability care facilities. But the biggest contributor, as outlined by the Minister, is the primary care system that has now contributed to more than half of all the vaccines that have been administered in Australia. Nearly 1.3 million vaccine doses administered by general practitioners, by Aboriginal community control health services, by GP respiratory clinics, and by the registered nurses all around the country who are contributing to this effort. So 1,294,713 doses administered by primary care. And that is across more than 4,600 practices all around Australia. More than 1,500 of those are in the regions, in regional, rural and remote Australia. This is not just an urban rollout. So there's more than 4,300 GPs, 136 Commonwealth vaccination clinics, and 152 Aboriginal community controlled health services that are providing this culturally safe access to First Nations people.